What's going on, y'all? This is Simba X on Cypher Sundayz out here at Dynasty Studios in Kissimmee. We got the one and only Queen Eturn. We're about to interview her and pick her brain, find out everything of what makes her pop. So, how you doing today? How you feeling?
Feeling all right. I'm a little tired, but you know.
But you here, you got
as soon as the rap start moving, I'll get a little. I'll wake up.
You got your drink, you got your outfit, you got your smile, you look good. So the people want to know, how did you come up with your name, and what does it mean to the people who are first hearing about you?
So I used to go by Eternity. That was my first rap name.
Love that.
I came up with that in middle school when I first started rapping, and as I got older and started taking it more seriously as a career, I realized that branding and marketing is an important piece of the puzzle, and people would call me Eturn for short, Eternity. And I felt like Eternity was a little bit harder to brand. It wasn't very unique.
Right.
So when I was working with Swanberger on my first record, I was a part of his what you call it, label, Second Subject.
Right.
And I worked on like my first 3 albums with him. He was trying to help me come up with a way to brand a little bit better and a logo. And so we just were brainstorming and came up with the what about Eturn? People call you that anyway, and then why don't we go as far as to putting the dash in it, Eturn, like U-turn, and then my logo is a street sign.
Love
so
that.
It's like a U-turn. So that's just it, evolved from Eternity into Eturn, and I stuck with it.
Okay, yeah, branding is really important. So I love the fact that you brought that up, and I think it sticks, it fits everything. And how long have you been making music? Like, describe your style. How would you say, is your niche?
I've been making music for probably like 20 years now. Well, I've been
2 decades strong.
You know what I'm saying? I like I said, I started rapping in middle school, but I've always been a singer. I've always been naturally into music. I had runs in my family, and so I've been making music for a long time. Yeah. Using my voice, which I think is my God-given talent, for a long time.
It's your craft. It's your gift.
It's my gift.
Yes.
And rapping since middle school. And I grew up listening to, I'm a kid of the 90s, so I grew up listening to Tupac, Bone Thugs, Wu-Tang, Nas.
Biggie.
Yeah, Biggie. I never really gravitated towards Biggie when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
Like, everybody would be in that battle, Tupac or Biggie, and my people would be like, Biggie, and I'd be like, on Tupac. I feel like he was more poetic. I feel like he was more musical. I mean, Biggie's very talented. He's a good rapper. Yeah, I was very much into Pac and Bone Thugs because I was always a singer, and Bone Thugs, they put in the singing element, and they were very melodic and rhythmic. So I was definitely obsessed with Bone Thugs back in the day. And then Nas, once I heard Nas.
Same, love Nas.
That was a big thing for me.
All that. Love that for sure.
Yeah. And then as I got older, I started learning about more underground cats that I didn't know about. Okay. Not that KRS is super underground, but growing up, he wasn't the one that we heard about first. It was more real mainstream stuff, and he was a little older. But then I started learning about KRS-One, and he inspired me, and I learned about Freestyle Fellowship, which is like, I call him the Wu-Tang of the West Coast. Ended up getting Micah 9 from Freestyle Fellowship on one of my records, and those people became my favorites. A$AP Rock from Rhyme Sayers. Quell and Maker, like all these kind of more underground cats.
A whole list.
Who I think are better than any of even the dope mainstream people from the 90s. Like, very much lyricists. Pharoah Monch, Black Thought, like those are the people that I started learning about as I got older and got more into the culture, and they inspired me very much. And I gotta shout out Lauryn Hill, of course. Growing up, that was one of my people.
As a female and musician in this industry, what are some of like the challenges or the tribulations maybe you've had to face that you've overcame through time? If you would share that with us.
It's just a lot. I've been doing it for a long time, and I've had highs and lows, and I've had things that have happened and things I've overcome, and there's it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And the industry has changed over 2 decades, so it's different back then to now. And also being older and learning how to conduct myself in the business has helped me to gain some more respect.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's really important as a woman, you know, for you to be able to really stand on business and show them. And we wanted to find out a little bit more about like the music element. You know, what projects or what songs do you have coming up for the rest of 2024? Share us a little bit about like your goals or some things that you're planning to do this year that's like exciting, like you gotta look out for it. What's something you have coming up?
Well, I'm working on a song right now with one of my other favorites, Chesky Ramos. I actually released my last record.
Okay.
Actually, not my last record. My record before that, but one of my favorites, Young World. I released that on Chesky Ramos' label Fake 4 Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Who, a lot of crazy, dope artists. So yeah, I'm working on a joint with Chesky. If you don't know who he is, check him out. He's phenomenal.
Definitely.
He will make you cry.
Okay.
And
a lot of emotion.
And yeah, he another song I'm working on is with Homeboy Sandman, who I just got off the road with in May, and he's one of my favorite artists as well. Like, I feel so blessed to work with like my favorite,
definitely, it's
my
a
favorite
blessing.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and I heard through the grapevine you've been on tour and stuff, traveling. So, you know, where has hip hop taken you? Like, you know, this whole journey, this craft, where has it taken you?
Well, definitely touring around the country, touring around the world. I've toured in Europe.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've shared stages with people like KRS-One, Mobb Deep, Naughty by Nature.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's taken me to really cool places that my young rapper self would have never thought that I would be in.
What would be maybe a piece of advice for an aspiring artist or like a younger you that you might want to really leave to let resonate with the people?
For an up and coming artist, practice. Like I said earlier, you got to be good at your craft. You got to be solid. You got to conduct yourself professionally, and you got to learn how to run a business. It's not this you blow up overnight and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, like you're Nicki Minaj or whatever. You really got to work.
So the kids are thinking, they have no idea. It's, you know, they think it's a 24-hour.
Yeah, well, it's hard not to think that way when viral is the way these days, which, you know, content online is important as well, but it's only one piece of the business. And how I see it, if you want to be happy with where you are in life and with your craft, you have to build long-time organic fans. It's not just about a viral video. It's about building the fans that are going to stick with you and have your back for a long time, and that's how you sustain yourself as an artist.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to ask you one more question since you brought that up with the whole being happy, because I feel like a lot of times some people and artists just go through the motions, but are they really happy, you know? How do you feel like creating music over all these years has impacted your mental health? And we'll end on that.
It's an up and down all the time. Especially when you choose to do it as a career, it can become a dark thing sometimes, because then you have this pressure to deliver, and then it takes you away from the soul piece of it, where you're like, I have to deliver. If I don't have content, you know, how am I going to make money? How am I going to go on tour? How am I going to have a record release? How am I going to do this and that? So it's a balance you have to find. It's a balance trying to, as we were talking about earlier, I've gotten more into voiceover lately. I'm still able to use my God-given talent. I use my voice. I am able to make a little bit more money. And I'm honestly finding that stepping away from the music a little bit and forcing myself to make music has given me more freedom to, like, my creativity with writing raps is coming back. Basically.
Perfect.
Stepping away for a second and then coming back a little bit.
Well, I love the fact that you're able to identify that and acknowledge that. And it was a pleasure interviewing you, getting to know you more. I'm sure everybody wants to get to know you. So just let us know where we can find you, stream your music, of course, and how everybody can search you up.
Eturnmusic.info, ETURN music.info, and then Eturn Music on all social media things. Yeah.
All right. So Eturn, it's a pleasure. Cypher Sundayz, Simba X, Dynasty Studios. You already know. Let's go.